boost their confidence heading forward throughout the game. But we're just about set for the opening face-off here as we're in Salt Lake City for this one. It's going to be fun, but there's also an aspect to it, and we see it throughout so many different sports, Jordan, that when you get to the dance and you continue to fall a little short, that can sometimes wear mentally, and we'll see if that's going to play a factor for NDSU.
That's right. You see that with the Washington Capitals in the.
That's what I was referencing. I love it.
So yeah, you got the Washington Capitals, but for North Dakota State, they're making their 7th appearance. There's a big advantage to knowing how the week works. It's a little bit of a different experience. You're learning to juggle the logistics of multiple games in multiple days and kind of getting out here and getting going on the first day. So I think it'll be an advantage for North Dakota State in this first game, but there's something to be said for just enthusiasm from a new team making their first appearance here in the tournament.
We'll see what happens. Big one who's going to be a factor here today is Robert Parker. He is the face-off specialist for Central. The Blue Devils are going to start with him in the big circle here against the Bison, and it looks as though they're bringing out Normandine for their face-off. And we're just about set. The Blue Devils right to left in their blue uniforms, white numbers and trim. North Dakota State, white uniforms, green trim, yellow shorts, and they're the other way.
Yeah, and Parker's winning almost 70% of his face-offs this year, which in lacrosse is insane. Loses the first one here.
And here's North Dakota State trying to push play. Taken immediately, though, by one of the long pole players here. It's Granger. He's going to just escape and give a quick little feedback to his netminder. Outlet pass comes up, and here are the Blue Devils trying to attack. Something to expect from NDSU is the 10-man ride. We've seen that, and they're one of those teams that is notorious for it. But the Blue Devils will have a chance at offense.
Yep, you'll get to see North Dakota State be incredibly aggressive on the ride. It's one of the marks of the team. They're going to pull their goalie out and use that extra body to create a lot of pressure, make it hard on Central Connecticut to clear. And so they got their first one successfully cleared, but that's a storyline to watch the rest of today.
It's worked in the box near side as just working around the perimeter, looking like they're in an open set right now. Blue Devils trying to find GLE far side of it, and it'll be taken there by Loomis. Loomis gives it up top. And it will be Steinhardt. He is one of the big guys offensively who's been feeding the ball around, 18 assists. And that's top 3 on his team here this year.
Yeah, you look for the formula for an upset. It always includes good possession time for the underdog, no unforced turnovers, which is
like we just saw.
Yeah, and face-off and goalie play. So that's what Central Conn's going to be focused on here.
NDSU trying to find their first extended offensive set. They've got a chance at it. And this pass will hop once, but it finds the stick of Bannock. And Bannock's going to come out on the far side of the field looking for that midfield line. Gets away from the pressure of the attacker on that far side of the field. And here it is. North Dakota State trying to find a little offense. They'll slow it down and work it with an open possession themselves. An open set as they get everyone on who they seem to want on there. Ryan Stover, another one of those guys who will feed the ball around well. But talking to the coaching staff again, North Dakota State has really been emphasizing that this is going to be a team that will win, not just an individual player. And so you should see a lot of good ball movement, and you can take any number of 10 guys who will score goals for North Dakota State here.
You're not going to see one guy try to do it all. They're going to use the whole group. And here's the aggressive ride. You see North Dakota State jumping on it, creating the turnover here, at least the ground ball. That ball's going to be a push on Central Connecticut and go to North Dakota State.
So Bison trying to find some offense once again. A good defensive set there, at least for the time being, for the Blue Devils. They've had a couple jobs where they have turned the ball over and created some offense for themselves, but that ride is going to be a factor all day. You see the NDSU goalie coming up now. Worked around, and it will be the Bison taking it in X now. This is going to be taken by Simpson. Now up top once more. They'll work from the far corner of the box as they'll try to work in, and marking up defensively is Joseph Keeley. He's another one of those factor players. Ball comes free. Nice defensive set there again from the Blue Devils, and there's another one of those highlighted players, but he gets knocked down. That's and ball is loose.
Ride. You can see them even in a spot where they had a high turnover, they're still in the 10-man ride, still being aggressive, not making it easy to clear, and Central Connecticut gets it right back.
This is Couillard, who's trying to gain a box for the Blue Devils. He goes down and loses possession. And early on in this one, we're just about 3 minutes elapsed in this first quarter of play, and neither team really having any golden chances so far. Kind of feeling each other out, though. You're still in that period of the game where you're just getting used to what you're going to see defensively, especially from Central. a team that is in their first appearance here in the MCLA National Championship.
The North Dakota side, you're already seeing Shrout make a difference here, number 43 for the Bison. He's created 2 turnovers in the ride, and he's somebody that was earmarked as somebody to watch in this game, and he's already making his impact felt and creating 2 turnovers, getting the North Dakota State the ball back.
And the Bison do work it around this time. They'll try and come out from X. Working it is Olsen. He has a nice pass out to the slot. Shot,
Beautiful
big save.
Beautiful save.
Great job there. The netminder is Mason Colin, and immediately he's tested on early in quarter 1. Ball is loose now, still to the ground. Flag flies.
I think that's going to be a slash. Cross check. You can call cross check here.
Both officials throw the flags. Always nice to see some,
a little bit of
the same officials on the same page there.
That's right.
And so we'll see our first man-up opportunity here, and it's going to be for the Blue Devils.
It's big for the Blue Devils here. Not only do you get the man-up opportunity, but you get a kind of free clear after failing 3 clears in a row. One of the reasons a 10-man is so important is it kind of breaks your will. You work so hard, you get the turnover, you get a big goalie save, and then you give the ball right back. There's a compounding effect. So this is a good chance for Southern Connecticut to break that streak a little bit, get the ball on offense, and get a good chance.
And they'll work from the far side top corner of the box, now the middle of the field, near side corner, and work down to GLE and into X, trying to work a 2-3-1 here. They'll kind of rotate out, though. Good ball movement and off the ball movement as well. Shot goes wide, and that was something they'll want to definitely key in on. That's just another one of those unforced errors mentally when you don't have the backup guy there.
Yeah, it looked like the attackman for Southern Connecticut was looking for one more pass, and instead of rotating behind, he crept up, and miscommunication led to the turnover.
And now we are looking at an NDSU possession here.
And they'll kill the clock here, try to get the penalty to expire before they do anything. Oh, unless you have that.
Shot and a goal. First one of the tournament. Nice job right on the goal line there. Yeah. It was Simpson who bounces out, and he is one of the offensive pieces that, though they spread it around, he had 15 goals, 11 assists in the year, and will score the first one here today with 10:20 left.
He's averaging 3.25 points per game, so one of their big contributors. And you see, sometimes when you're man down and you have that extra guy in defense, your assignments get a little bit lost as you're trying to think about who's going to double team, who's going to help get that ball back. And you can see that there for Central Connecticut. They just didn't get the numbers matched up. Simpson was free and wide open. He gets an easy goal.
So now a big face-off. Robert Parker in there once more, and Parker's going to push it forward, but ball's still loose and eventually picked up by the man that we were told to look at, Evan Shrout. Shrout loses it, though. It's to the turf. Flag flies.
Interference. It's going to be interference on North Dakota State. Go back to Central Connecticut. And Shrout is good at almost everything. He's a good ground baller. He's good at playing defense. So he's going to have a huge impact all over the field today, not just in the ride.
Bryce Lynch is going to take this one up the field as we return. This is Lynch going into X with a nice quick feed as NDSU's back to full strength here, and we play at 6-on-6. Worked up top now. This is going to be Mike Couillard. Gets it along far side to Clark. Clark keeps it going as well. Gets right back on a give-and-go play, and will trot towards that far side corner of the box. Reverses course, gives a feed over near side to Steinhardt, and Steinhardt is going to have to pick that one up off the ground as it came in and out of his pocket. Works it far side once more. Taking it here is Matt Clark, trying to open up a shooting lane. Forced instead to go to GLE and then works into X. Tries to pass one out front. That's intercepted by Noah Orem. And Orem with a good active stick on that for the goalie. You got to watch out for him. He's got that big pocket and will be looking to activate. You know that being that this team rides hard, it's going to be worked up the other way by the Blue Devils, however. And that play almost finds the end line. However, it's kept in play by NDSU. Bison try and progress as they'll look to attack, but another good active stick there from the Blue Devils. Getting up there is Max Loomis, and Loomis eventually causes the turnover. Opportunity for a fast break here. A chance, a shot, and a goal. And we have a 1-1 game.
Yeah, and you can see there's Central Connecticut putting their own stamp on their ride. They use a different variation. They use more of a 3-3 ride, not a 10-man, but they're being super aggressive with the attackmen. That was 2 turnovers in a row they created on the ride. The first one they ended up turning back over. That one they turned into a goal. And really, all things considered, this has started out to be a game that is almost tilted in Southern Connecticut's favor right now.
And you can tell from the excitement on the near sideline that these boys are fired up. They're going to have to keep that with them, though, because NDSU, they're ranked number 2 here for a reason. They're going to be a really tough opponent, and there's a lot of ball to play.
Yeah, I was going to say Central Connecticut's going to be trying to be consistent. You don't want the emotion to make you change your game. You want to play the same way regardless of the emotion. That's going to be an illegal procedure on Central Connecticut. Looks like a ward. Going to go back to North Dakota State.
So the Bison now with possession, they're going to try and sub on, get their unit on that they'd like to have offensively. They do, and it will be a Bison possession. They're working it right from the midfield slot almost, and they'll sub out up the middle as well. Getting their attacking midfielders on there.
Central Connecticut content to let them get their subs, so they're not putting too much pressure on. They're sitting back, let their goalie do the majority of the work on defense here.
Worked around that open set. NDSU to the middle of the field now. It'll be gathered in there by Wiegman. Wiegman goes to the far side, an errant pass, but it's going to find the sideline and crossing totality, so turnover there. And it is a game of turnovers here in the early goings.
Oh, they're going to give a...
And it looks as though flag flies, and we're going to have another man-up chance for the Blue Devils. And just like that, they scored to tie it up, and now they have a chance to take their first lead of the game. And Central Connecticut, we'll see what they can do with man-up play.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're a team like North Dakota State who's aggressive, you have to be okay with some measure of penalties. You're getting after it everywhere on the field. You're being aggressive. You're trying to hit. You're trying to create those turnovers. You're going to get some penalties if you play that way. So that's part of the cost of playing that way. And if you're a coach, some of those are acceptable.
So we've got a 1 minute man-up play here for Central Connecticut. The Blue Devils will work it in. Zach Taylor has it for the blue jerseyed team here, going right to left in quarter number 1. Just about 8 minutes left in this first stanza. It's worked down low, GLE up top again to the stick of Zach Taylor, works it near side, gets it back on a give and go play there. And here is possession, Blue Devils, far side corner once more, it's Taylor. Zach Taylor now, far side GLE. Gets it back again as they're just content, looking for their openings, not getting anything. A good defensive set here. 5 on the field for NDSU. Here's a chance, though. You have to really work on movement off the ball when you have the man-up chance, especially with a team that's as patient as NDSU is and is practiced, because, like you said, they get a lot of penalties. It's just a victim of their own game plan.
Yeah, nice job by North Dakota State of not giving up the inside there. So they let Central Conn have that ball, move it around the outside, but they wouldn't let them get inside. The one time they tried to feed, there were plenty of sticks up. That's a good man-down kill for the Bison.
And they are just about set to receive their man out of the box here. It's going to be possession Bison, and we are back to full strength. Just like that, good kill from NDSU. Like you said, patient, and they did an excellent job keeping the middle of the field contended. Worked near side, just off of the bench. Coming into play is Eric Larson. He got it. Gives it right back to his man on the far side of the corner. NDSU trying to force the play here. No shooting lane, though. Central
Conn sliding very fast to all the North Dakota State dodges here. So you can see him be aggressive on the dodges. Not let them get anything on the first shot.
Worked out of X now to the top of the field again. And a man goes down. Great job recovering his feet there by Simon Hatlin. Hatlin goes near side. And it's in and out of the pocket of Larson, though he does recover. Goes back to Hatlin as well. And he now tries to go down this near sideline. GLE worked out of X. And NDSU doing an excellent job just working around, and now what is looking like a 2-3-1 attack. And it's Hatlin again. He's trying to open up a shooting lane. He's going to take one. Big save again. A nice job there from Mason Colin, who's already had a couple stops for Central Conn. And the Blue Devils try to break this one out, and they're going to go for goal here. A long ball just over the head of the man.
Give him a shot. They're going to give them the credit for the shot. So Southern Connecticut, or Central Connecticut before the game said they would be shooting on some of these 10-man rides to try and break them out of it. It looks like the refs heard that loud and clear and give them credit for the shot there, give them the backup, and they keep the ball.
And that was an interesting one because it was right over the head of Zach Taylor. But we're not in the officials' Zebras colors here. We're just on the sideline.
Well, I think you see this as part of the game plan, and the coaches will talk to the refs before it, and they'll say, hey, just so you know, when we see this 10-man ride, we are going to be shooting, and that kind of primes the refs a little bit to expect those types of shots and maybe give them a little bit more leeway in what they're calling.
Wadika's going to make his way into the slot area. Forced to peel back, though. Good defense there. And once again, it's Shrout. And he is just an impressive athlete out here right now, making a staple on the game. It's worked up by NDSU. Fast break opportunity. They're going to eventually peel back and wait for some help off the bench. Pass towards X, intercepted. Great active stick there from the long pole, as it was Tyler Granger who got in the way. He's forced towards the end line, eventually gets a pass off, finds a stick of Lynch. Lynch up that far sideline, turns back to the middle of the field, gets the outlet pass, but it's under the stick of his intended target, and NDSU intercepts. And once again, they have offense for the Bison.
You see him swarm to the ball in that ride. Doesn't matter where the ball is, you're going to see a Bison jump that ball early and not let them get comfortable in it. And it creates those easy turnovers, the ones where it's just a missed pass a little bit low, because you're thinking so much about what they're doing in this ride that it causes you to make your own mistakes.
That's going to be worked around the perimeter once more. NDSU trying to break through for what it's worth. Like you said, Blue Devils really quick on their slides here defensively, and they've done a pretty good job of not allowing any easy lanes for NDSU to capitalize on. Here's a chance from the near side. One-hand cradle. Pass comes into X. And a shot there from the near side GLE just goes through the crease and wide. Opportunity for a loose ball on the far side of the field, picked up by the Bison, and they're just going to take this. Controlling it is Preston Olson.
Good job by the Bison there of drawing multiple slides and moving the ball. So you saw Central Connecticut sent 3 guys to the slide there. They're able to move that ball and get one of their best looks in 6-on-6 offense of the day.
Worked low once more. This is going to be taken and cradled by Simpson. He goes to X, has an option near side, decides to just take it there himself. And Simpson now will peel off. Good defensive pressure from the Blue Devils once again. And
bit of a new look from North Dakota State there. The attacking from GLE with the picks set right there on the goal line. We haven't seen that today, so they're starting to mix in some different things here on 6-on-6.
And a lot of that can be attributed to that confidence. At this point, 3:26 left in first quarter action. And you really have seen some of the defensive postures that the other team's going to throw at you. And so time to adjust yourself.
Time to adjust, and that's really one of the keys of the whole national tournament is who can adjust better. You're going to see a bunch of teams in a short period of time. You don't have a ton of time to prep for these teams once the selection was last Sunday, and so it's all about in-game adjustments here for both teams, and you're starting to see North Dakota State make those adjustments.
And it's worked at the far side top corner of the box. It is Brandon Wirtz. Wirtz, nice feed in front, shot goes just wide. Backed up by NDSU, but a good opportunity from Sorensen, who was alone in the slot there just in front of the crease. Now stumbling, but keeping his feet. It is Eric Larson. Larson is eventually forced back out of the box, gives it off to Sorensen. Hitting his feet, intercepted, and a quick shot here. Right, and that one is just wide, and then the backup.
And they're going to give that to North Dakota State.
Yeah, great hustle from Noah Orem, the goalie.
Those are tough calls for the ref because he's got to make up almost 50 yards of field to get a good view on the backup. I think he made the right call there, but they're going to make it tough on the refs today for sprinting to try and catch those shots.
And then an errant play at the other end of the field from North Dakota State, and that's not what you want to do after the hustle from Orem and the ensuing possession. Errant play goes out of bounds, and it's going to be possession now for Central Connecticut. They're going to work it out from the far side of the field. Taking this one up is Bryce Lynch. Lynch is just going to heave one. This is going to be chased down, but again, it looks as though Orem may win this. Indeed, they'll give it to him.
I don't think this is the first time that North Dakota State has seen this this strategy to beat the 10-man ride of shooting and trying to get the backup. Orem looks totally prepared to see those shots when they're coming, and he's racing for the backup as much as the attackman is. So they are well prepared for this.
And you were saying this is one of the tougher things to beat is this 10-man ride, especially when it's done to such a great degree. NDSU has a lot of practice at it.
It requires some really good stick work on your defensive end. You got to have good pulls with patience to be able to move that ball back and forth across the field, and that patience and consistency is tough.
And over and back there. So it's a game that's been riddled with turnovers so far. 95 seconds remaining here. It stands at number 1. Blue Devils have possession. They run through that near side corner, and another feed that goes over the head of the intended target comes all the way back to the far side. Max Loomis picks it up there. Loomis goes down, finds the mark and the stick of Matt Clark. Clark back to Loomis. Near side now with a pass, and a man lost his stick. But again, there's NDSU kind of in that set, letting the Blue Devils come to them defensively. Didn't have the opportunity to jump on that loose ball. And so we've got 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Another play that goes to the ground. Loose ball is battled for.
It's going to go over. That should be offside.
It is.
Call over and back before they called the offside.
So just like that, a turnover, and NDSU picks up possession, and they've got just 55 seconds to work with here in first quarter action. And they know it as the sideline yelling at them. It's a 1-1 game, so it's been a good one so far. And a pass comes to the back post. Opportunity shot. Big save again. Colin has made 3. Another chance, though, and that one goes home.
Yeah, good stick work there of being able to gather in the rebound. But, man, so those are some big saves.
Anthony Bannock is the man who ends up putting it home. It's a 2-1 game now. North Dakota State with just 36 seconds left. takes the lead once again. They're second of the game, but Conn has had an excellent job and done an excellent job of making those big saves here early on and keeping the Blue Devils in it.
Yeah, there's only so much you can ask your goalie to do, and when he makes that first big save, that's kind of on the defense to get that rebound out of there. North Dakota State does a nice job of gathering that in and putting it away on the second shot, but still, that's a good job by Central Connecticut of making the first stop. Now you want to get the ground ball and get that out of there.
So Normandine comes in against Robert Parker for Central Conn, and it's pushed forward. Normandine against a face-off man who played about 70% through the year. Gets a chance right off of the fast break. Another big save. Flag flies. Great opportunity, though. Normandine on a little fast break there. An immediate chance right off of the face-off.
That's going to be an illegal body check, which will be a 1-minute penalty. So North Dakota State's going to have the option here of holding it for the rest of the period for 26 seconds and being able to start the second quarter with the ball, or they can be aggressive here. Kind of have options. Be interested to see what they do. Probably go for 1 or 2 takes here, try and make a play happen. If you don't get it, then slow it down, hold it for the end of the quarter, and start the second quarter with possession.
We'll see. They're working it in from the near side. GLE taking it in and cradling is Linderholm. Linderholm gives a pass up near side top corner to Stover. And Stover just keeps it, and it looks as though NDSU will just take this one down.
That's probably smart. You're going to be able to start the second quarter with momentum, and our clock looks like it was potentially wrong there. Significantly less time on the clock, so that was a smart move by the Bison.
So just like that, we've got a 2-1 game after the first quarter of play here from field number 4. This is the MCLA National Championships. Right now, it's Central Connecticut, the Blue Devils, losing to NDSU, the Bison, that come in ranked number 2. We'll be back after a brief message with second quarter action.
I'm Greg Gurenlian, known as Greg Beast. I played for the New York Lizards. I just retired from the MLL, and I face off for Team USA. An elite level face-off man looks for a couple different things. First thing is the pinch points of the head, the flex points, how it wraps around the ball. The second thing you look for is the scoop. Is it rigid enough to kind of help you get an extra couple ground balls? The third thing is you want durability. You don't want to have to go buy a new head every few games, so this head basically encompasses all 3 of those. The Face-Off Academy put Command X's heads and their prototypes through the grinder. They lasted throughout the entire grind. They flexed exactly how we wanted them to. So not only were they pliable, not only were they durable, but they were also used in a lot of different facets. So it came out with a pretty good rating. The UA Command X. Dive under, take over.
Back with you here, ladies and gentlemen, from field number 4. It is Central Connecticut, the Blue Devils, down 2-1 to NDSU. North Dakota State's going to have the ball as well, and man-up opportunity. The clock was just off by only a few seconds there for us, but a good decision from NDSU to not push play. They only had a few seconds to work with, and they will end up going into this second quarter with possession. And they're up 2-1. Like we said, this is a interesting game. Central Connecticut's done an excellent job, a lot better than I was anticipating. You come in as number 15 seed, though. You did win your bracket to get in here, and you're playing a tough opponent. And I've seen NDSU before, called them last year. They're not an easy team to play, but Central Connecticut has held their own. They've done an excellent job sliding, but like you said, the ball movement sometimes from this NDSU team has really drawn out of position some of the Blue Devils players when they overcommit.
Yeah, and we'll get the chance to see the first man up look, and that was a good look. Probably not the best finish to go underhand there, but he was wide open. Looks like he found a hole inside, and look for North Dakota State to continue to try to get that ball inside on this man-up opportunity.
Vaughn Chase joined by Jordan Harris here from field 4. Opportunity to the top of the box now. Worked near side, down to GLE, tight angle, no shot.
Skip.
And now it's worked far side. Opportunity goes upstairs. What a chance. What a finish from Justin Linderholm.
Yeah, and that's a good job on that man up of trying to find those skip lanes, which is you're throwing it kind of through the defense instead of around the perimeter of the defense. That first skip pass causes this Central Connecticut defense to all rotate up to try and fill that hole, and then that second skip pass is wide open on the goal. That's a good man up set if you're North Dakota State, exactly what you're looking for.
And they're able to break through. Colin had made a number of really big saves there to fire his team up in quarter 1, but an early goal here, just 22 seconds in for North Dakota State. And just like that, a 3-1 lead, the first 2-goal spread of this afternoon. Nice face-off, though. Won cleanly there by Robert Parker, and he's going to just pass this one off and quickly change. But a good earned possession here for Central Connecticut. We'll see what kind of response that they have. It's going to be work near side to Couliard. Couliard passes one right over near side top corner. And again, Matt Clark has to pick it up off of the ground.
See, one of the adjustments from North Dakota State here is significantly upping the pressure on defense. Every spot there was pressured, so that was one of the mid-quarter adjustments that the Bison made. That should be a hold.
No,
there it is. There's the flag.
Man's taken down.
With his free hand on the back there when you're doing that wrap check, if you put your free hand on their back at all, that'll be a 30-second hold. That's an easy one for the referee to make.
Yeah, it happened right in front of the official. We always like that when the Zebras have some help.
That's right.
And so NDSU with a 30-second opportunity at man-up play, and they were able to capitalize on that last power play. I have to bring in at least one hockey term here to each broadcast.
It works,
but
yeah. As a hockey player, I'll accept it.
So it's going to be man-up opportunity. 3-1 lead and a chance. Here's a shot and a goal, and it's again the same man, Justin Linderholm, with two shots that looked eerily similar, and this didn't take any time at all. Another man-up goal from North Dakota State.
Yeah, and he's just got such a fast release. You see he gets that ball in his stick, and it is gone quickly, which makes it tough for the goalie to be able to pick that ball up and read it. That's exactly what you're looking for in the offense on a man-up opportunity is move that ball quick. You don't want it to sit in one person's stick for a very long time. That lets the defense settle, lets the goalie get comfortable. North Dakota State doesn't take long, but they take advantage of the 30-second penalty.
And that is 2 goals in the first minute and 9 seconds here of second quarter play. So, seems as though those adjustments they made successful, at least early on. Now we've got
hold, it looks like.
Quick hold there.
Looks like he sat on him a little bit in the face-off. That'll be a hold.
So North Dakota State ball, 4-1 lead for the Bison here.
This is where it's hard if you're the underdog team, is being able to keep that momentum when the other team gets a run.
And a shot and a goal, and that's the second of its kind from the stick of Anthony Bannock. And you see some goal scorers repeating themselves here in the second quarter. 13:31 left. We'll step away for 30 seconds and be back with more action. It's a 5-1 lead now for North Dakota State.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid?
See ya!
Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Here, North Dakota State University on top of Central Connecticut by a score of 5-1. They have scored 3 unanswered goals here just to start out the second quarter alone. 4 if you go back to the end there of first quarter action. And all of them here in the second quarter have come in the first 2 minutes of play.
Yeah. And you talk about adjustments and what adjustments the Bison would make at halftime or the quarter break. And it's clear that adjustment was be aggressive. Let's stop being passive. Let's be aggressive on defense. When we get that ball on offense, let's start going to the goal. So they're less patient this quarter, but it's paying off because their aggressiveness is creating opportunities.
13:31 left here in this second frame and the first half of play. Face-off man is going to be Robert Parker for the boys in blue. And it looks as though taking the draw is Connor Varley for North Dakota State. So a new face-off man. North Dakota State's kind of thrown in a number of different players here.
Yeah, and when you're coming out here to play for the championship, you're a team like North Dakota State who has that mentality. You want to run bodies that first day. You don't want to burn your guys out because you're going to be playing again tomorrow in a game, assuming you can win today.
So Varley earns another possession, and early on here you got to be a little bit disappointed with Parker's face-offs just because he came in at 70%, and right now that's going to be such a key going down the stretch for this second half and the duration of this second quarter as well for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it's probably facing a couple of the better face-off guys he's played all year, but this will be the mark of a great face-off guy is how can you adjust. It's one of those things by the halftime you want to make sure you have a new move if you can't win, or you're making some adjustments as a coaching staff to try and get those face-offs. It's your only chance to come back here. If you're looking to make a comeback, you've got to win face-offs.
It is a game of possession and probably one of the most magnified games that's all about if you can possess the ball and then come up and follow that up with another one. Here's NDSU, however. They won the draw. They have another chance. Worked GLE far side, and running right through GLE was Hatlin. He gives a pass back up top again. Man cuts from right to left. Pass comes into low one. It's going to go out of bounds, and that'll be a Blue Devils ball. So it's interesting because you still see some of those errant passes. We saw a lot more in the first quarter of play. It looks as though the teams have kind of settled into the game a little bit more. And here comes a long pole D-man for.
He's going to be met by a pole right here at midfield.
And that's Shrout. He's the man that is.
That's a tough clear.
He's played well defensively.
It looks like it's going to be potentially a slash here, but yeah, it looks like North Dakota State's going to get a flag. But that's the. Oh, it's an offside. So it's going to be an offside penalty here.
And again, one of those mentally when you come into this for both sides, you got to make sure that you get into the game early on. You come into the national championships, it's something that you have to adjust for, but just like that, that's North Dakota State who goes man down now as Central Connecticut's going to have a chance to stop the bleeding. 4 unanswered stemming back to the first quarter play.
Yeah, they need one here. This is a good chance for them to break up that run. You want to make sure you don't let them run too far, too long, and so you got a man-up opportunity. They haven't had a lot of success today on man-up, but they're going to get another crack at it.
Work down near side GLE. Taking it there is Loomis. Goes back up top to the stick of Zach Taylor. Taylor works it around. Just continue it to the stick there of Pearson. Pearson gets back on a give-and-go play far side corner, and then it ends up with Max Loomis once more. Up top to Taylor. Taylor going to have a pass go in and out of the pocket of a man on the far side, and we have a man that is released now for NDSU, and so just like that, another empty set on the man-up opportunity for the Blue Devils, and it's 6-on-6 here from field 4.
You don't want to go an entire man-up set without at least getting a shot off, and so that's definitely a win for the Bison.
And there's a shot from a bad angle, but the opportunity taken from Matt Clark. Not afraid to shoot. He gets backed up, and it's going to be taken in by Zach Taylor, who's below GLE. Fakes a pass through to X. Now takes it up to the near side top corner of the box and finds his man in Couillard. So this Blue Devils squad at least gained a little bit of possessive momentum there with that man-up play.
Well, and you at least want to give your defense a rest here. You've been playing since the start of the second quarter. It's been all defense for Central Conn, and so at the very least, your defense is getting a rest here.
11 minutes to go, and a pass comes down low. A good opportunity. Spin move, though.
Great recovery. Great recovery by North Dakota State to get low, break down, and stop it.
Now pass comes out front. Another interception from Orem, and he's having himself a very good game. He's a heads-up keeper. That's why they're able to run the ride as they do, and he's able to maximize another chance. A shot, beautiful. And what a goal.
Love that transition. That is beautiful. Coast-to-coast offense where everybody's getting a touch along the way. It ends with a nice little face dodge on the crease and a wide-open goal there, but that starts with your defense playing a nice stalwart man down, getting a good pick-off by your goalie, and then sparking that transition to be able to, again, be aggressive and get that goal in that first couple seconds of the possession.
That's just a great fast break there. Preston Olson, the man who ends up getting the end of that one and the goal. And a nice job from Olson to finish. He had 9 goals throughout the year. And it's interesting because Olson was one of the top scorers here for North Dakota State. And when you have some of those men who only are in the single digits, you can tell that is definitely one of those team mentalities, and that's what the coaching staff talked about.
Yeah.
The conundrum with there is that you go deep into a playoff, and sometimes you do need one man you can kind of go to.
That's right, yeah. So you get the benefit of making it hard to game plan for you when you've got a team like this where it's you stop one guy, you know somebody else is going to fill that role. But in the national tournament, you're really looking for a leader to step up, and I do think they have some of that older leadership, like Noah Simpson, who's a junior, who's their leading point scorer. Like I think he'll be the guy they lean on, but that's going to be something that'll become key later on in this week is who are the guys that you can lean on with experience in the tournament when things get tough against maybe some of the better teams that you play this week.
Eric Larson able to field this one off the ground, makes a pass, and another quick little feed down low into X is
Really good aggressive slide there from the Blue Devils there. They are not sitting back and letting North Dakota State have their way on offense either. They're being aggressive and sliding, and now we're going to get a chance to see if they can clear.
Long pole man loses his footing. Ball comes to the turf, and he's pushed right off, and NDSU takes over. They're going to try to capitalize here on a turnover, and the pass comes into X. Worked out front by the Bison. Opportunity, shot, and a goal.
I mean, that's, again, they're just being so aggressive when they get that ball now. In the first quarter, they may have been content to settle that and run their offensive set, but now they're just going to the goal. And when you talk about how good their 10-man ride is, yes, a portion of it is what they do on the back line, but their attack is very good at putting pressure on the poles and not letting them get by clean. And in that one, the attack just took it away, created the turnover themselves. That's the formula to a great ride, is having attackmen who, with that defensive mentality, that can ride and get that ball back themselves, and at the very least, not let them get by easily. So good job by the North Dakota State attack.
Norman Dean was the man who ended up with the ball in his pocket last. He is the goal scorer for the Bison, and like you said, great ball movement there as well, as they were quickly able to translate that turnover and work it into a goal. And I'd have to say the last 3 goals have really been possessions that couldn't have been more than 20 or 25 seconds for North Dakota State. They haven't had to set up because they've had great chances.
Yeah, Central Connecticut has done a nice job when they forced the Buffaloes to settle, but this quarter the Buffaloes haven't, or the Buffs have not been waiting, or the Bison, I'm sorry, Colorado on my mind, but the Bison haven't been waiting. That's going to be, pretty good shot. That's going to be a backup for the Bison though. But you can see the Bison just have this mentality this quarter of going to the goal as soon as they get it. They're not waiting to get into that 6-and-6 set. They're just going to go take it while there's in transition a little bit of scrambling happening from Central Conn, and they've been able to find great opportunities that way.
Here come the Bison once again after backing up that long shot attempt. First, maybe second one we've seen here in this second quarter of play. 9 minutes to go before we have halftime. NDSU is just waiting for some substitutions to be made here. And a quick little transition play into the stick there of Spencer Marsh. Marsh gets it to his man just off the bench, Zachary Wiegman, and Wiegman gives it back to Marsh. He's backpedaling, gives it to Wiegman again. And they have the set out there that they want. Blue Devils also got some substitutions. We're playing a 6-on-6 here. NDSU finally set up shop for what could be an extended offensive possession. They work out of X. This is Noah Simpson who has it. And he reverses course, trying to come out on the far side. Makes a nice little quick pass to Marsh. Back down again to the stick of Simpson, and Noah Simpson comes into X once more, reverses away from pressure. Good job, though, from the Blue Devils defender, not biting on that one and overcommitting. Pass comes out of the pocket to Norman Dean. He's got the last goal here so far. 7-1 lead for North Dakota State. They're in those white uniforms with the the yellow shorts.
Yeah.
And
little invert set here, so you see a short stick on short stick behind. And a good look, and that should be a shot and a backup, unless they call it a pass. But you can see they're changing their matchups a little bit. So that time the Bison ended up inverting. They take a short stick behind, and that'll set up a lot of easy feeds inside. You can see that they're still attacking from X.
And a nice shot. A tight angle there for Linderholm, but he wants that hat trick. He's already got 2 here on the afternoon. And he had a pretty tough angle to get that one on frame. Doesn't end up doing it. NDSU, though, backs up. They're going to have a chance at it. Wraparound shot is just wide through the crease. Opportunity from the stick of Brandon Wirtz.
Yeah, and regardless of how this possession ends up, this is a good possession for the Bison. You're going to start to wear down the Blue Devil defense over time. They've played a lot of defense this quarter, and this is another long possession that's making them work. You're going to start to wear them down over the course of the quarter.
And here comes another attack shot. Big save from Colin. Nice opportunity. Better stop.
Looks like it's just stuck in his jersey here.
And so whistle. And it should be Blue Devils' possession here.
Yeah,
it will.
Good save. Good
Colin,
job stepping to the ball.
That's his first real big save. Hopefully he can kind of get some confidence back in his game. He made some early stops in quarter 1 that were doorstep saves. And an errant play from the goalkeeper turns into a NDSU opportunity. Fast break chance. Long pole. Mitty wants it.
Beautiful save. Stepping into a big, and they're going to get a crease violation on the Bison. It's going to be the Blue Devils' ball.
What an opportunity, though. That long pole, Mitty wanted it. Turned the other way by the Blue Devils. Man, tumbles, and that was going to be cause enough for another turnover here. NDSU will take it right back up, and that's not what you want. The Blue Devils, like you said, already on their heels quite a bit here. They're needing some offense to give that D a rest. We've got 6.5 minutes left. Good interception, and here come the Blue Devils now, trying to push this one up the field of play. It was Matt Callahan. He couldn't quite get it to go, however, at the midfield line. Taken again by the Blue Devils. Now here's a stick work by the attackman for an NDSU, and again, that's one of those where they don't have the easy exit. Blue Devils, though, do finally work it across the midfield line. They're into the box, and this is going to be a chance at some possession. They'll get their attacking middies out there.
That's one of the best jobs of the Blue Devils today, of moving the ball in the clear. They made 3 or 4 passes to beat it instead of expecting one guy to try and run through the whole team there, and they were able to successfully clear and get into their offense. So that's something, if you're Central Connecticut, you want to kind of settle in, and you want to keep doing that every time you go against the clear. Be patient, make a couple passes, get the ball to the offense.
Couillard's going to take this, giving himself a little bit of time and space to pick up some wheels. He gives a pass off, quickly finding the stick there of Steinhardt. Steinhardt's feed to the far side, goes to the ground. Ball comes free. Steinhardt trying to pick up the ground ball. He does, and then he is stick checked, lost his stick in the process. Ball as well. Comes to North Dakota State once again.
They're being aggressive all over the field now. It's not just on offense. It's the entire mentality of the Bison has changed.
Ball's down just in front of the Blue Devils net now. Scooped up by a North Dakota State player. Great job, though, from the Blue Devils. They come in, they have an opportunity at it, and Couillard's going to take it up the field as the Blue Devils match the aggression this time defensively. Couillard spins, picks himself off the ground, and will work it into the box. Now trying to set up shop here as they look for some offense. It's been a while since that 8:54 mark of quarter 1 when they scored their only goal so far. We've got 4:50 left here in the second stanza.
You can see the North Dakota State started to rotate a few bodies in here on defense, so this is smart. If you're a team that's coming in here with championship aspirations, you can't bring your entire bench on day 1. You want to show off your depth a little bit, get some fresh legs in there, and use only your starters on day 1. You're planning to play 4 games in essentially 5 days here. Then this is the strategy you need, is to rotate some bodies in.
But they did an excellent job of putting themselves in a position that they can do that, up 7-1 here.
Exactly.
Now a stick check out of X. That goes to Orem, who was in his crease. He's going to take this and cradle away from pressure. Coming in, though, is Zach Taylor, trying to force the issue here. And Orem is going to just dump this one off to Tanner Strauss. And Strauss on the far side gives it back to his keeper, who looks up the field, and Orem has an option. He's going to go for the long ball. That one right into the pocket. Nice pass there to Sorensen. And here's NDSU. And now you can see offensively even, they're more willing to set into an extended possession, and they'll enjoy wearing down this defense for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that was exactly right what you said, is that they earn the right to kind of play this pace and this strategy here, the second half, this second quarter, by what they did in the first half.
And it's going to be worked far side in the box, looking for a shooting lane, not having one opportunity from that far side from Eric Larson, who eventually was running out of real estate and decided to take that shot. He's backed up, and so it will be possession that's maintained. However, Blue Devils had it for a moment, lost it, scooped up again, and now on the near sideline, pass coming in, stick to stick there from Granger to Lynch.
Here's a shot.
And Lynch.
Full field shot. And they're ready for it. The Bison are not fooled by the full field shot at all. They are ready for it every step of the way. And if you're Central Connecticut, what you want to do is really space them out. Draw those guys further away from the net so you don't give up that opportunity of being able to catch that before the shot. Because I think that one was actually on target there. That would have been a goal if the Bison hadn't have picked it up out of the air. NDSU
attacking again. Man's out front, in and out of his pocket. Scooped up now by Colin, and he's just going to take this, escaping behind his net, out of the crease, far side. He quickly finds the stick of Bryce Lynch, and Lynch is going to heave one, and that's stopped by Orem yet again.
They're ready for it. You got to drag that goalie somehow further away from the net if you want to try those shots. And right now you're letting him stay 5 yards on the side. He's going to get those every single time.
And they've also, that's a communication factor for NDSU as well. They're definitely letting the goalie know he can release when that shot's being taken.
Yeah, and when you're a team that runs this every single game that you play, like North Dakota, who's just committed to it, you start to understand these nuances of how to defend in the 10-man ride. You see just about every way that teams try to break it. And so when you come into the tournament, it's almost nothing new. They've seen teams that have tried to beat it the same way, and they're ready for it.
Work by NDSU again on another extended possession. There's a hit from behind that takes a man down. And a shot from a man out front. Didn't catch a number on it, but good opportunity. Went just wide. Flag had flown, however. And we'll have man-up play here for the Bison, already up 7-1. 2:03 left in this first half. Blood and Chase joined by Jordan Harris NDSU in a big lead here. 6 goals separating these teams, and it's been 6 unanswered stemming back to that first quarter of play. So a good job from North Dakota State. They made those adjustments. It was only 2-1 after the first.
It felt like a very even first quarter, and the game is certainly tilted in the Bison's favor here in the second quarter. Linderholm has 2 goals in the last 2 man-up opportunities. We'll see if they try to get him the ball again here.
It's going to be worked to Linderholm. He gives it up top now again to the stick there of Hatlin. Hatlin gives it back to Linderholm. Hatlin again as they play some pitch and catch. Ball comes near side now. Hatlin has it once more. He's just quarterback from the top of the box, middle of the field. Gives a quick little feed off. It goes to Linderholm, far side. Up to Hatlin. Nice job finding the seam on that. Then the pass goes in and out of the pocket of a man, and it will find the sideline and go out of play. The English on the ball sends it just out along the near sideline. And so the Blue Devils have an opportunity to possess and hopefully kill off some of this remaining time on man down action. 1.5 minutes left in the half. Nice speed here on display from the Blue Devils. Attacking quickly is Joseph Keeley picks up a loose ball, and then he's pushed out of play. Whistle blows, and that will be
loose ball push on the Bison. And you can see the Bison there in the man up. They didn't need to jump into the 10-man, so that was a normal 9-man ride there, and they were still able to generate a lot of pressure. But a good job by Central Connecticut of not waiting to try and clear it. They took their wheels and maybe put the pressure back on the Bison and were able to find space in the clear.
85 seconds remaining here in the half. We're at full strength once again. Man coming off the bench is Mike Couillard. Couillard has it for the Blue Devils as they try their hand at finding some offense. It's been empty so far here in the second quarter of play. Worked into X. Now to the near side, GLE. It's Loomis who takes it there. Loomis goes up top to Couillard. Couillard now working along farther, far side to Jamison Steinhardt. Steinhardt is definitely going to be a key cog in the offense. He has 18 assists on the year so far, and they need him to start feeding the ball around, get him some open looks. Opportunity goes through X on a quick little feed to the far side for the Blue Devils as they try and find offense in the last 54 seconds of play. Once more it's Steinhardt. He's going to reverse course for a moment. Tries to dish a pass off. Great stick check there from NDSU. And the ball is still loose, kicked forward by the Bison, and they pick it up, and then good stick check on the other side for the Blue Devils. They can't follow up, however. NDSU has a chance. Fast break opportunity if they want to take it. Pass comes to the near side. Gathered in there by Simpson, and Noah Simpson.
It's a good timeout. There's just about 30 seconds left in the half, so the Bison will take a timeout, and they'll try to drop a play here to get one before halftime.
Simpson didn't quite have the shooting lane there, and coaching staff saw that he was going to stutter away. And like you said, they'll look for a last shot here and potentially an extension of this lead. It's 7-1 right now. Stepping away for 30 seconds. We'll be back with more action here and the remainder of this quarter of play for Jordan Harris and Vlad and Chase. This is MCLA National Championship action from field number 4.
Founded in 2009, Lacrosse Talk Radio has the most live and up-to-date coverage of the fastest sport on 2 feet. Whether you're listening to one of our over 200 live youth, high school, collegiate, or professional game broadcasts, or our regional specialty shows, Lacrosse Talk Radio gives you access and insight to your favorite teams and players. Visit us at lacrossetalkradio.com for our broadcast schedules in the Rocky Mountain, Tri-State, and Mid-Atlantic regions. Lacrosse Talk Radio, the official voice of the MCLA.
When I'm calling games, my bosses know it, but I soften to get on here. On one of our teams, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. We're live here from from field number 4. Central Connecticut has been on their heels for the better portion of this second quarter of play. 5 goals tallied for North Dakota State, and it's pushed out this lead to a 7-1 advantage, and we'll see if they can, they being Central Connecticut, if they can play some good defense here and hopefully hold North Dakota State off the scoreboard. Though it's NDSU with the ball out of this timeout, and they will be looking to set up that last shot.
Well, there's only 12 seconds left, so they're kind of in the same position they were in the first, at the end of the first quarter, where they can hold this ball for 12 seconds and start the second half with the shorter man up. But with the ball, I think the Bison may opt to go that route here.
And we will see. Just under 10 seconds left here. NDSU is going to work it into X. Looks as though they may look for a pick. Comes out front. They turn. Pass comes.
You know what? The penalty had already released, so they're...
that should not count as a goal there. No goal. The horn had sounded. And so no goal on that one. NDSU tried to get it, and you're right. It released before.
And they got a pretty good look. Maybe it happened a second or two later than they would have liked, but not a bad look and really a nice capstone for the second quarter there.
So that'll do it for us for quarter number one. North Dakota State on top of Central Connecticut, 7-1 here from Field 4. We'll have that second half of action after a brief break. We'll be back with more for Jordan Harris on Blott and Chase. This is MCLA National Championship Lacrosse.
Founded in 2009, Lacrosse Talk Radio has the most live and up-to-date coverage of the fastest sport on 2 feet. Whether you're listening to one of our over 200 live youth, high school, collegiate, or professional game broadcasts, or our regional specialty shows, Lacrosse Talk Radio gives you access and insight to your favorite teams and players. Visit us at lacrossetalkradio.com for our broadcast schedules in the Rocky Mountain, Tri-State, and Mid-Atlantic regions. Lacrosse Talk Radio, the official voice of the MCLA.
My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and finished up at University of Maryland College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine. This is the Under Armour Banshee. It's the mid-level lacrosse cleat. What I like about it is it's got a low cleat feel, but with the protection of a mid to high cleat. I'm usually a guy who likes to protect my ankles, but I don't like to lose the mobility and feel like I'm wearing a heavy cleat. UA Banshee, untouchable, unstoppable.
I'm Eric Law. I went to the University of Denver and I played professional lacrosse for the Denver Outlaws. This is the UA Command 2.0. I really like the new design of the thinner scoop at the top to help with ground balls, and the same thing in the back with the flare to help with ground balls as well. The pocket, it forms just a nice, easy pocket right in the middle. I also love how light it is. We've been in the sun all day. It still doesn't get that soupy, bendy feeling. Also, what I really like the new addition of is the side rail pockets for the shooters, which doesn't go right in there, which I think is a brilliant design.
I'm Greg Gorenlian, known as Greg Beast. I played for the New York Lizards. I just retired from the MLL, and I face off for Team USA. An elite level face-off man looks for a couple different things. The first thing is the pinch points of the head, the flex points, how it wraps around the ball. The second thing you look for is the scoop. Is it rigid enough to kind of help you get an extra couple ground balls? The third thing is you want durability. You don't want to have to go buy a new head every few games, so this head basically encompasses all three of those. The Face-Off Academy put Command X's heads and their prototypes through the grinder. They lasted throughout the entire grind. They flexed exactly how we wanted them to. So not only were they pliable, not only were they durable, but they were also used in a lot of different facets. So it came out with a pretty good rating. The UA Command X. Dive under, take over.
My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and finished up at University of Maryland College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine. The shaft is the Meso, and obviously when you look at it, it's got a really sleek look to it. Black on black is pretty smooth. Feel it, it's not too rigid, got a little bit of a grit to it. It's very durable, but it's pretty light. It's got a little bit of a flex to it, so it puts a little bit more on your shot. UA Meso Composite, balanced, battle tested.
Life is about moments.
If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings. Do you have that real look in your eye? That when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? All right. See ya. Right at it, right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Founded in 2009, Lacrosse Talk Radio has the most live and up-to-date coverage of the fastest sport on 2 feet. Whether you're listening to one of our over 200 live youth, high school, collegiate, or professional game broadcasts, or our regional specialty shows, Lacrosse Talk Radio gives you access and insight to your favorite teams and players. Visit us at lacrossetalkradio.com for our broadcast schedules in the Rocky Mountain, Tri-State, and Mid-Atlantic regions. Lacrosse Talk Radio, the official voice of the MCLA.
My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and finished up at University of Maryland College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine. This is the Under Armour Banshee. It's the mid-level lacrosse cleat. What I like about it is it's got a low cleat feel, but with the protection of a mid to high cleat. I'm usually a guy who likes to protect my ankles, but I don't like to lose the mobility and feel like I'm wearing a heavy cleat. UA Banshee, untouchable, unstoppable.
I'm Eric Law. I went to the University of Denver and I played professional lacrosse for the Denver Outlaws. This is the UA Command 2.0. I really like the new design of the thinner scoop at the top to help with ground balls, and the same thing in the back with the flare to help with ground balls as well. The pocket, it forms just a nice, easy pocket right in the middle. I also love how light it is. We've been in the sun all day. It still doesn't get that soupy, bendy feeling. Also, what I really like the new addition of is the side rail pockets for the shooters, which doesn't go right in there, which I think is a brilliant design.
I'm Greg Gorenlian, known as Greg Beast. I played for the New York Lizards. I just retired from the MLL, and I face off for Team USA. An elite level face-off man looks for a couple different things. The first thing is the pinch points of the head, the flex points, how it wraps around the ball. The second thing you look for is the scoop. Is it rigid enough and can it help you get an extra couple ground balls? The third thing is you want durability. You don't want to have to go buy a new head every few games, so this head basically encompasses all three of those. The Face-Off Academy put Command X's heads and their prototypes through the grinder. They lasted throughout the entire grind. They flexed exactly how we wanted them to. So not only were they pliable, not only were they durable, but they were also using it in a lot of different facets. So it came out with a pretty good rating. The UA Command X. Dive under, take over.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here from field number 4. This is the MCLA National Championships. I'm Vlad Chase, joined by Jordan Harris. And we've got Central Connecticut, the Blue Devils, taking on North Dakota State, and the Bison have the lead 7-1 after the first 30 minutes of play here from Salt Lake City. And, you know, we had a really close first quarter of play, Jordan. It was 2-1, Bison lead after that first 15 minutes, but all of a sudden they made some adjustments. They got exponentially more aggressive, and it really paid dividends for them, and they're able to take that 7-1 lead here into the beginning of the second half of play. Yeah,
and that's one thing that will separate the good teams here, the experienced teams of the tournament, is going to be their ability to make adjustments. We mentioned that at the end of the first quarter, saying, okay, that wasn't, if you're North Dakota State, probably not the ideal first quarter for you. You feel like you should maybe be up a little bit more than 2-1, but they go into the huddle, you could hear their adjustments. They're saying, look, guys, we've got to be aggressive, we've got to get after them, let's not let them be comfortable, and those adjustments worked to perfection in the second quarter, where you open up a big lead that's now going to give you flexibility to play the second half a little bit differently.
And we will see what happens here for NDSU, as it looks as though they are going to play their second goalie. Ben Crandall is going to come in and get the start here in half number 2. And you talk about not wanting to burn out some of your starters, and that is a pretty big statement move to have a second goalie put in here in a game, in a tournament that you don't see a lot of that happen.
Yeah, especially when your starter's playing so well, not only in goal making saves, but playing so well in the ride. That's a big part of their success. And so, but the Bison feel comfortable they can get the same continuity, and that's a credit to them and their depth.
So it's going to be Sam Bong for NDSU, who will face off with Robert Parker from the Blue Devils. Blue Devils headed right to left here. Bong able to win, initially at least win it cleanly. Now a push here against Parker. He's going to go for quick change possession for NDSU, but we've seen a number of different players, again, testament to that depth that you spoke of, but a number of players against Parker, who's the face-off man for this Blue Devils team. He rode a 70% win percentage into this game, and now all of a sudden definitely hampered. And like you said, it does just talk to the great athleticism here from NDSU, but what else goes into that? Yeah,
and the other thing it does is it makes it hard to make adjustments. So if you're facing off against 3 or 4 different guys, it's hard to get a feel with, okay, well, here's the adjustment we need to make against this guy. So it just makes it hard for you to start to figure it out when you're playing that many guys.
And a quick pass goes right through the slot area there, as Wirtz was kind of in the vicinity. He made the initial feed. He was looking for Preston Olson, but Olson didn't make too much of an effort at that when he was double teamed, and let Wirtz know, let's not do that one again. But a turnover on the other side of the ball for the Blue Devils as they can't clear, and here comes NDSU pressing upfield with numbers, and it's Wirtz once again from the far side, corner of the box. He goes up top now, finds the stick there of waiting Anthony Bannock. Bannock has 2 goals here today, as does his teammate Justin Linderholm. That accounts for 4 of the 7 right now. And both those guys, you know, will probably be looking for at least an opportunity at a hat trick down the stretch here. Pass comes through the slot, and here it is, Bannock. Had to get away from him, and that will be a pass that turns into possession for the Blue Devils, and they'll try and take this one out from their own end line.
And this 10-man ride for the Bison, it really opens them up to be able to play more aggressive on offense. Your turnovers matter less when you're getting 50% of them back in the ride.
Pass comes into Colin, and it's one of those games. He's had some incredible stops, but you can only back up against the wall so much. And here's Colin. I think he was lobbing it downfield. It's going to bounce free from an NDSU player, and great little play there on the ground ball, scooped up by the Blue Devils, and they're going to try to attack here with Loomis.
Not sure that's a replicable process there to be able to do that over and over, but it worked this time.
Now take what you can, give nothing back. Blue Devils need to find some offense here, and they need a goal and the early goings to give themselves some confidence if they're going to try and make a comeback in this one.
Shot. Good little sweep dodge across the top. No slide there for the Bison, so that's a good take for the Blue Devils. Probably their best since the first quarter, really.
Blue Devils do get the backup as well, but another pass that's away from a man, and you can hear the upset play, or the upset players, I should say, on this Blue Devils bench.
Yeah, you don't want that frustration to stack up and start seeping into the bench and getting frustrated with each other here. Regardless of how the game goes, you want to see your team kind of stick together and band together regardless of how it's going.
7-1 lead for NDSU. They're going to have possession with 12.5 minutes left here in this third quarter of play. A big lead. But the smallest of the four fields, as we were kind of checking in with some of the scores on the other fields of play here. And this is one of the closest games.
Yeah, you got the #1 Tommies, who are up 10-0 over Missouri State. North Dakota State, obviously, they're up 7-1. Duluth is up 15-3 over College of Idaho, and St. John's is up 11-2 over UC Davis.
So early on, we get a lot of those higher seeds playing 15s and 16s. Here's a shot and a bouncing shot. What an opportunity. Great rip there from Eric Larson, and he has his first goal on the day and in the tournament here. 8-1.
And if you're going to shoot from that far out, you want to make sure you get something on that shot, whether it's a change of planes from high to low or you get a bounce out exactly like that. It's a pretty far out shot, but when you bounce like that, it makes it tough for the goalie to be able to react when he reads that shot coming low and then this unpredictable grass to bounce that really high. It's a tough save for any goalie. So good shot, good placement.
And like you said, that was from range. You don't see a whole lot of those that go top cheddar like that, but beautiful shot. They'll take it, and they, being the North Dakota State squad, will look to get another face-off here against Parker, who had an opportunity to pick it up, couldn't do it. NDSU does, and it's going to be progressed upfield here by Joey Hoffman. Hoffman gains the box and will spin away from Blue Devil pressure.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating one if you're the Blue Devils because you actually won the face-off there and you don't end up with the ground ball. Hasn't had a lot of success at the face-off X today, but that one they actually did exactly what they needed to. They just couldn't come up with the ground ball.
It's going to be Marsh who takes this, feeds it down, ends up an X, passed up top far side, and nice job there reaching out and gathering that in by Brandon Wirtz. Wirtz now finds Marsh. He's waiting for a sub to come off the bench. He gets him immediately. This is Wiegman who will take it in, and he gathers ahead of steam. Wiegman plants left foot. He'll go into X with a pass, and then it comes right back out front. Good defense, though, from Central Connecticut. Ball comes all the way back, and Wiegman will have it once again.
I like that look. I like the ability of the Bison to be able to draw the slide and move that ball quickly and then make the look inside. That's something they could do over and over again against this Blue Devil defense.
It's Wirtz once again from X. He's going to pass it up front. Nice opportunity. Another bounce shot. I think that may have carried him.
Close backup there. Close backup. Stays with the Bison.
And that was maybe about a foot's length that the official deemed was closer for the backup player there for NDSU, but I think that may have caromed off of Colin. He may have got a piece of that one from a tight angle shot. Now this is Normandine again, trying to open up another lane. This is a low to high shot from Normandine. That ends up sailing just over the goal frame. Backed up again, though, for the Bison. And taking it in now is Preston Olson. Olson with a quick feed right off the whistle. Opportunity, back post play, shot, and oh, big save from Colin. Rebound is eventually going to be scooped up by the netminder here for the Blue Devils. But again, you can see a little bit more confidence in his game again as he gets a couple saves under his belt and starts to feel a little bit more. Here's an opportunity. Shot goes just wide. And it looks as though a man may have rolled his ankle there trying to pursue for the Blue Devils. Chasing it down was Jared Pearson, but he ended up hobbling. They do earn possession, however. Opportunity to wrap around shot and a goal.
Really the best execution of their clear attempt of the day. Not only were getting that ball quickly up to midfield to shorten how long that shot was, but they had the backup. And then once they had the backup, more importantly, they picked it up and immediately went to the goal to try and catch North Dakota State off guard a little bit in that transition moment. And they were able to get their second goal of the day. But that was the best job that the Blue Devils have done today of really putting the pressure going the other way against the 10-man ride.
Loomis, the goal scorer, makes this an 8-2 game. Still 6-goal spread, so Blue Devils need a lot more of that, but they've got time to do it. 25 minutes left in the game here. 10-16 left in quarter number 3. I'm just as equally as impressed with my math skills on that. Right off the fly.
I was just thinking, I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty good.
Here's NDSU now.
Push with possession here, so that's going to be a man up for the Blue Devil, or I guess it's going to be a man up for the Bison here in a second.
It's going to be worked near side now. Taking this is Preston Olson. Olson waits for support off the bench. He finds Wiegman. Wiegman now.
A little free possession here for the Bison, so they got a flag down. So no matter what happens here, it's going to be the Bison ball, so you get a chance to take some risks, maybe run a play and be a little bit more aggressive than you normally would be.
NDSU just working it right now towards that midfield line, trying to open up some space. They've got 4 guys top of the box out towards that midfield slot. They're really loading it up right now with a 2-3-1 and a high one at that. Now here comes a nice little swim move from Wiegman, and he gets a pass that hits the ground, and it's picked up, by North Dakota State. Wirtz couldn't have it, and eventually Blue Devils do get possession, and that'll draw the whistle. So NDSU didn't quite get the opportunity on frame they would have liked to have seen on that free possession, but it is still going to lead to man-up opportunity here for the boys in their white jerseys, yellow shorts, green numbers and trim. Man taking the knee is going to be Robert Parker here. And so it will be possession for NDSU from the near side GLE. Taking this into play is Linderholm. Linderholm makes pass out top. Ball worked around, and an opportunity to pass in low. Great job just in front of the crease. Better save from Cole, and Linderholm scoops up the rebound, and NDSU continues to possess here with 9:06 left. Linderholm with a pass. It's a high one, but it's gathered in. Nice job getting up from Hatlin. Man just about set to release from the box here in 3 seconds. Hatlin gets it again, top of the box, middle of the field, and we are at full strength here. Shot goes wide, backed up by...
Maybe it was a pass there. It might have been a
pass. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Now outlet pass comes to Bryce Lynch, gathers it in a long pole D-man for the Blue Devils, looking up the field. He's going to try and feed it to Max Loomis, gets him. Loomis, the goal scorer, most recent goal scorer for the Blue Devils, 1 of 2. Nice little spin move from Loomis. Loomis going to swim move, opens up a lane. Loomis shoots, and it goes just wide. Foot race here to the far side, and it's the Blue Devils who, diving, end up getting that back up. Nice hustle there from Zach Taylor.
Yeah, and the Bison on that one, they were not in the 10-man ride, so it might have been at the end of the penalty. They didn't jump into it, but that let Central Connecticut get a little bit of an easier clear than they've had all day.
Now it's going to be taken here by Matt Clark. Clark looking for a shooting lane, doesn't have it. Now he opts to take one from a few feet off GLE, and that's going to be an easy save for Ben Crandall. Turn the other way, and NDSU will try to attack here. Opportunity for the Bison behind the back pass, shot and a goal. What a play.
Highlight reel goal right there behind the back to a nice finish. You know, when you're up 8-2, you get a little bit of flexibility, and some of those things you do, and that one is going to be, at the end of the tournament, that's a one shining moment goal right there.
And that's Disrud who ends up getting the feed and tucking it home, but like you said, it really all started with Noah Simpson and that behind the back pass. And so we now look at a 9-2 game with 8 minutes to go.
I'm not sure.
And we have a North Dakota State player set to take this draw. Looks as though it's Sam Bong who's in there once again against Robert Parker. Parker battling hard for this one, but it's going to be pushed forward by Bong. Scooped up, and NDSU has another possession here. He's just going to try and shovel this one, but a little bit of a play that ended up staying in the pocket longer than he would have liked, and some pushing and shoving there. Ball was already scooped up by Bong once again. And so it looks as though a possession here coming up off the ball for the Blue Devils. 9-2 game.
Get a quick restart here.
Here comes the speedster.
So again, North Dakota State not in the 10-man ride here. And they're still able to create the turnover. Oh, that's going to go out of bounds, and they'll go back to Central Connecticut.
Looks as though that was Linderholm who couldn't quite possess. Now, that could very well be just having Crandall in there, potentially.
Yep. Yeah, it could just be an adjustment they made at halftime saying, we're going to swap goalies, and we're going to change how we ride a little bit. Maybe to save legs, a 10-man ride is a little bit tiring, and you got to play 4 games in 5 days here. So probably a lot of thought that goes into it. They've had a lot of success, and they still have it in their back pocket that they can come back to at any point today to try and, again, create those turnovers in transition.
Here are the Blue Devils now. They're going to try their hand at an offensive set. Teams have traded goals here so far. NDSU 2, Blue Devils 1 in third quarter action, and it's a 9-2 game. Bison are on top, trying to spin free of pressure. Good cradling here. Man gets wrapped up, ball comes free.
It's a risky check, but it paid off. That's one, if you don't get it, you're giving a guy a free lane to the goal, but all's well that ends well, right?
Absolutely. Ball now hops away from NDSU at the other end of the field, though. Scooped up by Colin. He's going to go for a long pass. Finds a long pole man, but it's in and out of his pocket. Turned the other way by NDSU. And the Bison try and pick up another ground ball here as the scrum ensues. Still on the ground. Eventually, it's swatted forward by NDSU, and Blue Devils pick it up, and they'll have a go at it. Could not possess, however. It's quickly turned the other way from Andrew Tarnaski, and Tarnaski now feeds one up the field, and Wirtz will take it, gaining the box for the boys in white. And they will slow things down, getting some quick little line changes. 9-2 lead for North Dakota State, number 2 seed coming into this tournament in the MCLA National Championships Division II.
And one of the hard things here, having been in a similar position in North Dakota State when I coached BYU, is you want to balance being able to run through your bodies and make sure you have the legs for all the games, but you also want to keep the momentum of playing good lacrosse. You don't want it to come down and end on a low note in this game. You want to finish strong as you started. So you're trying to strike that balance if you're North Dakota State.
Great defensive pressure there from a long pole D. Will not be.
Should be deflected, so no
over and back. Yep. And that's one of those guys. It's Bryce Lynch and Tyler Granger who are really the two long poles that we were told to key in on for this Central Connecticut squad. And they've had good games, but North Dakota State's just really, again, been so aggressive. It's been hard to really do a whole lot of anything, even breaking out of their own half for this Blue Devil squad. Worked around by NDSU once again as they've got an open set here.
And North Dakota State is going to go back in the 10-man ride here. If the ball's turned over, you can see their goalie's already up at midfield, ready for it. So they're going to be more aggressive in the ride here the next couple times.
Chance for the Bison. Onto the ground, scooped up by Wirtz, far side. He tries to walk out on GLE, looking for a shot, couldn't get it. Instead, hops to the air and back down. A ground ball here, scooped up eventually by Granger. He spins off of one man. Outlets.
Good look here. You got some space.
And the Blue Devils able to break the ride and get a little bit of offense, or at least a chance at it.
Can't stop your feet. That'll kill you in the ride if you stop your feet.
This is Perry. He's able to at least get that pass upfield, finds Higgins. Higgins on the far side now, controlling and
a nice job. And really that started, the reason they're able to make that clear is because they immediately, when they picked the ball up down on the end line, they looked up to move that ball quickly instead of letting North Dakota State kind of settle into that ride. They're trying to put the pressure going the other way, so that's a good quick outlet to be able to create that space.
That's going to be taken here by the Blue Devils. This one is Couillard who has it, works it into X with a quick pass, and comes out front. And it looks as though it's going to turn into an extra penalty there potentially. We'll see what happens here.
I think we're calling looks like a hold, so probably could have been a number of calls there. Looks like they're going to go with a 30-second hold.
Zach Taylor didn't like what happened there, took exception to it, gave a man a quick little love tap saying, hey, I'm still here. I'll remember that number.
And Central Connecticut has not had a lot of success in the man down. This is a well-seasoned North Dakota man down unit. They know what they're doing. They move and sync. They really make it tough to get looks, and they haven't had a lot of success today breaking that down, the Blue Devils.
We'll see if they can do it here. They've only got about 20 seconds remaining of man-up opportunity. Chance comes to the near side, top of the corner. Now worked through Pearson, continues it along. Max Loomis up top now to Taylor, to Pearson, near side. Finds his man, just about set to return to the field of play, however, and we are at full strength now. So
another man up opportunity with no shots. That's a tough day if you're the Blue Devils, and that's a great job if you're a Bison fan.
And it looks as though they needed to maybe get a few quicker passes and translate that to shooting opportunities right away. At least let one fly on goal and have someone there to back up if you miss.
Yeah, and the Bison just rotate so fast. It almost feels like they're beating the ball to the spot.
Strauss able to push this one upfield, and NDSU gains it. Once again, a possession here for the Bison as a little bit of confusion from the near sideline from Central Connecticut. They're able to work things out. NDSU works it up to the top of the box near side. Taking it there is Bannock, and Bannock will just make his way slowly, calling for a little bit of movement, maybe a sub from Larson. Opportunity comes, and Bannock's just going to hold on to this ball. Big circle here for NDSU. So the Bison right now, I mean, you can see they're able to slow things down. Once again, they're up 9-2. They don't need to continue pouring it on.
Yeah. No points for margin here in the tournament, so it's all about playing a smart game plan here. Probably don't want the bigger concern is these unforced turnovers. You don't want those to translate into a game tomorrow when you're playing a team that is going to be significantly more seasoned in the tournament. You don't want to give away those free opportunities.
So it looks as though it's going to be another ball that's not going to be backed up. They say that Jared Pearson wasn't quite there. But again, they're going for it, and that time it was Colin, and he said he's had enough of it and wanted to just give it a rip himself on that shooting opportunity.
Yeah, that's a lot further. You know, earlier in the quarter they had one where they shot from midfield that was really close. That one was almost 50 yards further to make. That's a tough shot to even get close on goal.
This is NDSU with the ball once more, and they'll just work the perimeter once again, looking like they're going into that 2-3-1 set here offensively as they sub out the long stick midi. Man's almost wrapped up there. Again, gave that lane, but he was able to recover nicely.
Well, and that's what you got to do here. You're going to need to be able to create some turnovers. You got to be aggressive, take some chances. May result in some more goals, but you're going to need more possessions if you want to come back here from a 7-goal deficit.
And a quick pass, man. Ridden to the turf and a nice turnover.
That's
and here
great.
comes the
nice
squad.
hustle.
Blue Devils with numbers up. Field shot, big save there. And then the man was just laid out there on a...
Hensel looks like he's going to get a flag here. That may be 2 minutes.
That was Zach Taylor who's on the turf there. He let the shot fly. Good stop from Ben Crandall, especially with some guys coming in front there as he was screened somewhat. Didn't see that cleanly, but he's able to at least position himself correctly. Taylor helped to his feet, and it looks as though he is going to sub off for this Central Connecticut squad. Set 9-2 score here. We've just got 83 seconds left in third quarter action. It looks as though they're going to give it.
Take a timeout.
Take a timeout.
Going to take a timeout.
We'll step away as well. This is Central Connecticut and NDSU as it's a 9-2 game lead for the Bison. Back with more action.
Life is about moments.
If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings. Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quade? See ya! Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Back with you here from Field 4 at Salt Lake City, the Regional Athletic Complex. I'm Vladen Chase, joined by Jordan Harris. Jordan, we've got a game. It's a number 2 seed against a 15, and it's kind of playing out as you would expect in terms of coming in storylines with seeding as it is. A 9-2 lead for North Dakota State.
Yeah, if anything, you could say Central Connecticut's doing a nice job of holding off North Dakota from really running away with this game. They've had opportunities. You can see the differences aren't huge, but they're slight in ways that matter, in the ride, in the clear, a little bit in the stick work, and some of the man-up, man-down opportunities. But Central Connecticut's doing has a nice showing here for a 15 seed.
It's going to be worked around by the Blue Devils as they are man-up once again. North Dakota State looking like they were playing a 2-3 initially. Now it's going to be worked back down into X. Good ball movement here by the Blue Devils. Pass, though, intercepted, or at least knocked free.
Yeah, good tip.
And a good job there from the NDSU players. And then man is shoved towards the sideline. Great job to control initially.
Good check. That should be playing without the stick there. Yeah, that'll be the Blue Devil ball. So good ride. You have a turnover. You can always make it up by having a good ride. And that's a good job by the Blue Devils of not accepting the fact that they're going to turn the ball over. Now they get another crack at the man up.
Zach Taylor once more out there. Good to see him back after he was shaken up on that last hit that drew the call. Ball worked around the perimeter, and it's going to be found in the stick of Steinhardt. He just keeps it rolling as the Blue Devils try to attack off the far side of GLE. Worked up again here, Steinhardt. Man's just about set to release, and we're at full strength now here from field number 4. So 6-on-6 play. Ball work to Zach Taylor.
When you watch the film,
Loomis.
when you watch the film as a Blue Devil fan, you're going to be a little bit frustrated. That's 3 man-up penalties, so 2 minutes of penalties with no shots.
And it looks as though the Blue Devils couldn't quite communicate well enough to look for an opportunity there at the end of that quarter. No man up, so they won't possess coming into this fourth. We're going to step away for a quick break. A 9-2 lead after 45 minutes of play here from Field 4. This is Central Connecticut and North Dakota State University playing in first-round action here at the MCLA National Championships. For Jordan Harris, I'm Vladen Chase.
Life is about moments.
If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings. Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? All right. See ya. Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Back with you here from field number 4. You're watching the NDSU Central Connecticut game here. Lon Chase joined by Jordan Harris. Jordan, 9-2 lead for NDSU right now as we head into this 4th and final frame. And kind of playing out like we'd anticipate, but you can see as they're right in front of us, this Central Connecticut squad, they've got some fire. They're not ready to give up on this game right now.
Yeah, they talked a little bit about, in quite excited tones, talked about stop feeding the crease, let's get the ball moving around on offense a little bit better, and they think that they can find some holes in the Bison defense, but they're going to have to get more possessions here to make up a 7-goal deficit. It's going to take a lopsided amount of possessions. It's going to start with face-offs. It's going to translate to clears. You're going to need a lot of opportunities to make up a 7-goal deficit in 1 quarter.
And the other thing about it, too, is the turnovers on passes, like we just saw an early one for the Blue Devils, and those are the simple plays that you can't make in the 4th quarter of a game that you're down by 7. And NDSU has settled into the game somewhat. We were seeing some errant plays on both sides of the ball, especially in the 1st quarter of play, but it seems as though the Bison have just kind of settled in and they're finding stick-to-stick passes a lot more often than not, where the Blue Devils are still struggling with that occasionally.
Consistency is a big differentiation between the top teams of the tournament and the teams that are making their first appearance a little bit lower in the bracket. That consistency, it makes a big, big difference.
Ball work to the near side from North Dakota State. Opportunity and a good stick check there as the shot was getting taken. Colin ends up with a play.
Looks like he fell into the knee of another player inadvertent there, but that never feels great.
Going down was Darby Sorensen. And just like you said, I mean, he was just going to shoot, and so you know that as a body type, you kind of are in a vulnerable spot when you're just trying to focus on that shot.
May have tangled knees there a little bit. There was 2 men that kind of slid there. They all collided at the same spot. Looks like he may have tangled his knee up. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
We'll take a quick break and be back with more action here. This is North Dakota State and Central Connecticut from the 2018 MCLA National Championships.
Founded in 2009, Lacrosse Talk Radio has the most live and up-to-date coverage of the fastest sport on 2 feet. Whether you're listening to one of our over 200 live youth, high school, collegiate, or professional game broadcasts, or our regional specialty shows, Lacrosse Talk Radio gives you access and insight to your favorite teams and players. Visit us at lacrossetalkradio.com for our broadcast schedules in the Rocky Mountain, Tri-State, and Mid-Atlantic regions. Lacrosse Talk Radio, the official voice of the MCLA.
My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University.
Back with you here from Field 4. Nice to see Darby Sorensen at least getting a little bit of weight on that left leg of his as he is helped down to the bench to press box left. Jordan Harris along with Flood and Chase. We have first round action here of the 2018 MCLA National Championships. This is going to be Blue Devils ball out of that injury timeout. Interception, but a great stick check there by Matthew Wadika. Wadika ends up with the ball. It comes out and free, but a nice job jumping in there by Steinhardt. And just like that.
Yeah, you can see Central Connecticut looks like a team that knows that their season's on the brink here. They're flying around. They have not run a super deep bench, but they are all still flying, and that's beautiful. Nice
shot
finish.
and goal. Great effort in front. Jared Pearson ends up scoring. But that's the beauty of lacrosse too. 6 goals in 11 minutes. I mean, that's definitely doable. You can. Possession here off of a face-off. Nice job there from the Blue Devils, and they have an offensive chance at it yet again. As it looks as though coming up top is Zach Taylor. Gets some of the attacking middies onto the field of play, and now it's going to be Wadika who has this.
Yeah, and we heard the coaches in the last time out for Central Connecticut saying that, you know, you're going to start the offense on the top, you're going to be dodging from the top, but you guys aren't going to be the ones that scoring. We need to get that ball moving through to the backside to get some redodges. Either that or take the ball to X and start attacking from there. They don't want to just dodge from the top and shoot, which is what they had been doing for a little bit of the game.
And they do this time work it into X. Coming out front from GLE near side. Man tries to spin free. Double teamed, eventually forced off. Still has the ball. And he'll try and shovel a pass off. He does. And a high-to-high shot there.
It's a good shot. Flags down as well. So that's going to be a slash on North Dakota State. So Central Connecticut's going to get another man up. Let's see if they can get a shot this time.
A little bit of a difference here is that we have seen some offense in the last minute and a half or so.
A little bit of life. A little bit of life from the Blue Devils.
And they do need to carry that into this last little bit of this man-up opportunity, because they've come up with, I think, 3 or 4 opportunities at it, and it's been empty every time.
That's right.
We'll see if they can change that storyline here.
And part of that was them feeding inside, so that's something that their coaches were asking them not to do. Like, let's move this ball around the outside a little bit faster and stop trying to jam it inside. North Dakota State's so good at getting their sticks up that finding those inside looks is going to be tough. You may have to get them rotating before any of those looks open up.
Max Loomis near side GLE. He's going to feed it up top to Zach Taylor. Continues along, gets it back. Nice giving go play there from Pearson to Loomis. Up again to Taylor, to Pearson once more. He looks to the far side this time to Steinhardt. And good rotation here from the Blue Devils, but again, NDSU is just so patient and really so good on their slides defensively here, even in man down.
They're just very fundamentally sound defensive team, and it pays off in that man down. Their sticks are always up in the passing lanes. It makes it tough to find any looks. And again, I mean, what a credit to the North Dakota State man down unit that they have killed 4 penalties with no shots.
So, opportunity for the man to release here in just about 5 seconds or so. Here comes a last little run of it for the Blue Devils as they come up empty-handed even in the shot column, but they still get some possession and at least have a little bit to build off of there on that longer man-up opportunity, though 9:45 only remains and the clock starts to...
Little hidden ball trick here. Not enough people fooled.
Low to high shot, good save there as Crandall was able to reach out, and he's just going to take it himself.
It's going to be it. Oh, man.
There's Shrout.
You can see them being aggressive in their ride, too. The Blue Devils now are kind of being the aggressors in their ride.
Good job here from this Central Connecticut squad. And they will earn a possession on that far side of the field of play. Bryce Lynch is going to take it in, and a flag flies immediately. So now here are the Blue Devils with a free possession. Steinhardt gets it into the little slot area, and a shot is just off the mark. Not sure that Josh Perry had the best intentions on that one. He was turned almost towards his own field and just looked to rip it behind his back.
And if you're going to do that, like the time to do that is with a man down when you know you're getting the ball back. You hope you get a better look than that as a coaching staff, but at least you're here. Here you have the ball, and now let's see if they can make an adjustment to at least get a shot on this man down. Again, we mentioned that North Dakota State has had 4 man down chances where they have held the Blue Devils without a shot. That's impressive no matter who you're playing.
I mean, what do you do there as an offense then to try and break through? Do you just look for a quick pass and a shot?
Maybe you could look into a different set. They've been running a lot of this 3-3 set, and they haven't had a lot of the skip looks. And there's a shot that goes wide, good placement, but you're looking for just something to mix it up. Get man down set.
It wasn't on frame, but it ends up being a shot nonetheless. And the Blue Devils, from our angle we had it, that was a earmarked almost for that bottom left of the goal. Loomis has it up top to Taylor, continues it along to Pearson, far side now to Steinhardt, and it's going to be down to GLE. Man set to release for NDSU, and an errant play there. The man had cut, that was James Donald, and just kind of a miscommunication there with his attacker, and it translates into another turnover, and so NDSU
Offside
will
there.
possess.
For a second, they're going to let it slide. Looked like Dakota State may have been just a step offside, but they're
9-3 lead here for NDSU with 8.5 minutes left in the game. Ball work to the near side. Blue Devils have done a good job here from a 15 seed standpoint.
Yeah. They're certainly giving the Bison a good fight, and you can see here, this is one of their first possessions of the fourth quarter. They've done a really nice job, even toward the end of the game here, of trying to flip the script a little bit. They haven't been able to get as many goals as they'd like, or even opportunities, but they are getting possession, which is a big deal.
That's where it all starts. But like we were talking about, the clock not your friend when you're ticking down on the last potential 8 minutes of your season and down by 6. You need to have the ball. It's going to be NDSU who has it. GLE, tight angle shot by Wirtz. Maybe not the best opportunity there, but again,
possession shot. You call that a possession. Go in, but you at least get the ball back. You stave off the shot clock for a little bit longer. Yeah, not the worst shot in the world, not the best though.
And it will be scooped up by NDSU, backed up well on that. Here's Wiegman, who has this, gives it up top to Normandine. Normandine continues along to the far side. It'll be into the pocket there of Spencer Marsh, and Marsh is just going to trot, taking it himself.
Here comes a double team, I think, from the Blue Devils. They're going to try and get something aggressive.
Here now is Marsh, escapes, pass is over the head there of Normandine, comes out of bounds, and it will be a possession now for the Blue Devils.
And a nice job. You could hear them yelling from the sideline. They made the adjustment to bring the slide a little bit faster, to be a little bit more aggressive there. Now they're going to have to beat a 10-man.
And a man.
That's not what you want. You don't want to go straight through that triple team. You want to move that ball to somebody on your other team and reverse the field to get a better look. So that's a frustrating turnover for the Blue Devils when you've worked so hard to get that ball.
That was Steinhardt, who wasn't quite able to swim away from pressure. Like you said, 3 white jerseys in front of him. Not an easy task in any position that you were in, especially down 6. And going against a real tough ride defensively.
It's hard to balance that mindset of saying, okay, well, we need to be aggressive and get goals, but there's also things you have to do patiently. Your mindset's kind of like, let's go, 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 but at times you need to say, okay, we're going to slow down and go backward to be able to make the progress that we need to be smart.
Nice job there from NDSU, keeping that one alive at the midfield line. Almost an over and back called, but here's Normandine now. He's trying to open up a shooting lane. He has one to take.
Push.
And
yeah,
a push
see
coming
all the
up.
flags fly.
Good job from Normandine. He had the shooting lane, and for what it's worth, the foul comes, but the Blue Devils did get in the way. That didn't even go on frame. I believe that the defensive players got sticks in the lane. 6:27 left, and it will be man-up play for NDSU. Up 9-3 right now. Blue Devils, again, you look at this, and this is their first opportunity to play here in the MCLA National Championships. And talking to the coaching staff beforehand, they were saying, we want to make sure that we prove we're here for a reason, and they want to be a staple in this tournament year.
Is where we expect to be at the end of the year, and it's often a big turning point for teams.
And on that, you can look to some of those positives you take outside of a game right now. A shot, big save from Colin. But the Blue Devils, I don't want to throw anything out there into the karma world, but they have not allowed NDSU too much possession, and they haven't scored here in the fourth.
They've done a nice job of holding them off, and they're going to get a penalty here on the, I believe it's on the Bison. Yeah, so they were able to hold off the man-up opportunity, and again, they're doing a nice job of holding North Dakota State off the board. They actually had probably their best quarter of play here in the fourth quarter, which is something you'd expect North Dakota State maybe to have the advantage with the depth and the experience, but really it's been the Blue Devils who have been the aggressor here in the fourth quarter. And
talking about an earlier point that you made, NDSU does not want that to be the case. They want to make sure that they kind of re-ramp up here in the last 6 minutes, get some good connections, good passing plays, good offensive sets. Even if they don't score, you want to get some good momentum built up riding into day 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, you know you're not going to have time to adjust and to play poorly for even a portion of a quarter tomorrow, whoever you're going to be playing against. And so you want to make sure you end on a high note as a coach. You want to make sure your things are clicking, and you're not going into tonight, going to bed thinking, oh man, are we playing our best lacrosse right now? You just want to feel confident and be ready to just game plan for tomorrow.
Well, the one thing that has been very good so far has been man-up opportunities, or man-down, for North Dakota State. Shot here finally.
That was a great look.
Finds the frame.
The best look for Central Connecticut on man-up today. They did a good job moving that ball quickly around the outside. Got out of that 3-3 set and ended up with a great step-down look with nobody even near him from about 15 yards.
It's quick ball movement that opened up that opportunity. We're back to full strength now. And a chance from GLE near side. Man, a stick check. That was Max Loomis who ended up losing the ball there, and it's going to be turned the other way by NDSU as they try an outlet. But good job riding hard defensively for Jared Pearson, an attacker here who's trying to not let that man out easily. And then eventually he's just ran by. Good job breaking ankles from the NDSU guys as, again, they know how to break this. They practice it every day.
That's right, yeah. When you run a 10-man ride, you get a few advantages, and one of them is you see it all the time in practice. So if you're ever in a game where a team starts to be aggressive on the ride, it's just second nature to beat it because it's what you see every day in practice.
Here are the Bison working around the perimeter themselves offensively. 9-3 the score, North Dakota State on top. And we'll see what the last 4:45 brings here for both teams. A lot to play for both sides. Though you'd think with 6 goals and the time on it and the dormant offense from the Blue Devils, it may not necessarily be playing for the game itself. NDSU.
When you talk about carrying those things over, you talk about things that carry over for the Blue Devils. You want to end this on a good note too. You want to kind of show everybody like, hey, we came and at no point did we give up, and that becomes a stamp of your culture, something that you can carry on to next year.
Here is North Dakota State killing some. 5 minutes left here now. So it's going to be worked by Bison on the far side of the field as they just take it into X. And at this point, again, you're in that time for NDSU where you can kind of work around, kill some clock, but still look for some shots. It's 9-3. Put a staple on this game yourself. Offensively, it's been a little bit quieter here in the fourth quarter of play. Here's a chance. Tight angle. Man runs out of real estate, lost the ball in the process, has to regather on the far side of the field. This is Connor Varley with it. Varley now goes up top, finding the stick of Finnegan, and a late shot.
Looks like we got a flag down that's going to override the violation. Oh. So it looks like after the whistle, number 12 for North Dakota State threw the ball away. That's going to be a delay of game, and it'll give the Blue Devils another man-up chance.
That one hit Jamison Steinhardt right in the wrist. He was a little shaken up on that one, not happy with it. Delay of game for North Dakota State, and so here it is, another brief man-up opportunity. Steinhardt gets right back out there and will in fact take this ball in here for the Blue Devils on the far side of the field. No, sorry, I looked in the wrong folks here. Pearson will take this one, but not before we get a timeout. 9-3 game. When we come back from the break, it's going to be a Blue Devils possession here, a man-up opportunity for 30 seconds. They have come up empty so far on their first 5 chances, but life in the man advantage here. In the last couple, they've gotten some shots on goal as well. Back with more. For Jordan Harris, I'm Blod and Chase. This is the MCLA National Championships Round 1 from Salt Lake City.
What was that? Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, they're over.
My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and finished up at University of Maryland College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine.
But last time they
won
that.
Banshee. It's the mid-level lacrosse cleat. What I like about it is it's got a low cleat feel, but with the protection of a mid to high cleat. I'm usually a guy who likes to protect my ankles, but I don't like to lose the mobility and feel like I'm wearing a heavy cleat. UA Banshee, untouchable, unstoppable.
Back with you here from Field 4. We're in Salt Lake City for the 2018 National Championships. This is round 1. I'm Loudon Chase, joined by Jordan Harris. Always interesting. We're in a different scenario with the press box being right here on the field for us this year. But it's kind of fun to hear both sides and what they have to say at some of these timeouts inside of a game that seems to kind of have its ending already written. 9-3 lead for North Dakota State, but definitely a fight left here in the Blue Devils.
Yeah, you can hear the Blue Devils in that timeout. They're still pushing. They still want to go after him. For them, I think the score doesn't matter at this point. They want to finish playing the right way, finish being aggressive, get a couple more goals on here. And the same thing we talked about, North Dakota State wanting to come into the next game with confidence. It feels like Central Connecticut kind of wants to shoot that confidence down a little bit, make them think about it, and really send a message, I think, not only for this year that this is a good team that maybe deserved to be higher than a 15 seed, but send a message for next year that this is a team that will be back.
Absolutely, and they've got a man-up play here. 30-second penalty against NDSU before the timeout was taken. Restart whistle comes. We've got 3.5 left here on the clock. Opportunity, it's going to be taken in by the Blue Devils, and they set up in that 3-3 you were talking about earlier. The success they found was when they kind of started to shift it around. But they'll work it back up top again to Pearson. Pearson near side. Worked right down to Max Loomis now, up top again. Nice little fake there from Zach Taylor. Goes again to Pearson, far side attack.
Here's
now worked into
play.
X. Chance for Loomis, and it got away from Steinhardt.
It's a nice little play where they jump out of the 3-3, put a guy at X, and then move it to a guy cutting down. Both times it's been there for him.
Now a jump shot hits off of Taylor.
Never feels good.
And that was, again, one he was trying to just be the man in front of the goalie and get in his lane. Now a ground ball turns into NDSU possession. They're trying to get a little bit of a fast break here. Guy fights through. Nice job there from Evan Anderson getting some time here in the waning moments of this one. NDSU with a pass intercepted. Awesome opportunity there from Granger, keeping the stick up in the passing lanes. He's going to try and take it upfield himself. And that was an offsides that was missed a little bit there from the Blue Devils. Chance from Granger.
Pass, I think. That's tough to call that as a shot. So
yeah.
It's going to go back to North Dakota.
He's trying to find Zach Taylor, a cut man, coming right through the crease. If he could have, Taylor would have been in a position to at least get a good chance on frame. Good job from Ben Crandall. He came in. He's the second goalie here for NDSU. He had a couple chances that he's had to be in good position for, and he has done an excellent job for this squad.
Yeah, the Bison defense has been really good all day. 3 goals, doesn't matter who you play. That's a good outing for any defensive unit. But when you're playing a tournament team, it's added to the impressiveness of it. But the Bison offense is kind of where they've slowed down a little bit. And in the second quarter, they were being really aggressive and attacking in that first little bit of the offense in the first 10 to 15 seconds of the possession, and they found a lot of success. And since they've settled, it's kind of been a little bit harder for them to find holes in the Blue Devil defense.
Ball now comes free. It looks though whistle blows. That one turns it back to an NDSU possession with 2:23 on the clock. 9-3 lead for the Bison, heading down to the end of this game, and pending a miracle, they'll be heading into second round action here tomorrow. Pass comes through the high slot. Opportunity at a shot. Looks as though it came out a little bit earlier than Connor Disrud would have wanted. Good stick play there from that Blue Devils defender who was on him. Ball will be taken in from the far side by NDSU, who backs up well.
Yeah, and this the Bison team will get the winner of Montana State versus Dayton. 2 very good. Probably you could maybe make the argument that both teams are a little bit underrated, and they're 7 and 10 seeds. So that's going to be a great game to watch this afternoon, and the Bison will be watching closely as they'll get the winner of that game.
We'll have that one here from Field 4. I think that's the 1 o'clock game, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 1:30. Inbound play here from the Bison, though it looks as though we've got a whistle. Not 100% sure what happened on that one. Perhaps it's a tip out of bounds, and so possession here for the Blue Devils once more in the last pair of minutes. Round one action, first game from the 2018 MCLA National Championships here in Salt Lake City. New sets coming on and new units for both teams as they sub out players. Still waiting on that restart whistle to come from the near side. Loomis is going to have this. He's got one of the 3 goals here for this Blue Devils squad. Eventually works into the possession of Bulliard. Mike Bulliard is going to try and reverse course. And the nice thing to look at here is this is a pretty young team for the Blue Devils. They've got a lot of freshmen and sophomore. Shot and a goal. Steinhardt gets one in the late minutes. A good job there from Jameson Steinhardt.
Yeah, good placement there, and uses his defender as a screen a little bit. Makes it a tough ball to see as it's coming in. But again, we said it coming out of timeout. I don't think you're going to see any drop off or any quit to the fight from Central Connecticut. It's exactly what you've seen.
And to finish the thought there, too, being a young team, they're going to bring a lot of guys back next year, and they'll know what to expect for the season and what to expect from the tournament.
Yeah, and everybody who's an underclassman here, who's a junior, sophomore, freshman, when they come back next year, they're going to be telling the new guys, hey, this is what to expect. This is how you have to play. This is the level. And they are also going to say, hey, we were close. Like, we played the number 2 team in the country, and at the end of the day, it's 9-4 or however this game ends up. They were a team that if you cleaned up a few things, this could really turn into a competitive game. So there's a lot to take away from the Blue Devils into next year from this tournament game.
Here's a chance and a shot and a goal. Good looking play on the back door. That's Hunter Kivley who gets his first goal of the tournament. But really, it was a pass that did that one for the Bison. He was open on the back door, got the feed, and with just 68 seconds left here in this one.
Yep, and you're Central Connecticut. You're going to get aggressive. You're going to try and make some turnovers, and that's going to be the result of that. You don't want to go away being passive on defense, sitting back and trying to hold for that last shot. And so they're going out swinging on all aspects of the field, and you give up a goal, and kind of got to expect that a little bit.
10-4 lead now, NDSU out there. Robert Parker is going to be facing off, but it's going to be pushed forward by the Bison. A good clean win from Normandine. Up quickly. NDSU wants more here in the last minute. Shot, big save from Colin. What a stop there. He was able to get the big pocket in front of that man. Great chance by the wayside. NDSU now picks up a ground ball. Good avoiding of the intended target. Outlet feed there to Matt Lutgen is going to go off the top of his stick and out of play. So possession now for the Blue Devils again here as it gets a little bit more frantic in the last 40 seconds of play. Going to be worked right down the near sideline. Nice outlet there to Wadika. Wadika into the high slot area. Finds help from Stridehurt. Gets away from him though. Scooped up and turned upfield here by Lutgen. And he's just going to slow things down somewhat as we come down to the last 20 seconds of play now here in round one action. Lutgen gets it upfield. In and out of the pocket of that intended target. Battled for. And eventually it's going to be taken here by Eric Larson. And it looks though a quick hold there will turn that into a North Dakota State possession.
They should be able to kill the rest of the clock here.
Just 19 seconds remaining. And it's going to be worked by North Dakota State. 10 seconds on the clock now. And a flag flies, but it should be all for naught. That'll do it. 10-4 your final. North Dakota State comes out on top of Central Connecticut State. And a good game in the first round for both teams. We kind of talked on the positives for both sides, but it's NDSU who will play tomorrow. And 10-4 final here, Jordan.
Yeah, and North Dakota State, they did a lot of the stuff well that we expected them to do well. Their 10-man ride was suffocating, and they pulled it off a little bit in the second half. They changed things up, and so they mixed it up a little bit. I think if they had wanted to, they maybe could have pushed that gap a little bit wider, or if it had ever tightened, I think they probably had the ability to push it back out. But a good start for them in doing what they did well. They're probably going to want to be a little bit more efficient on offense, a little bit more aggressive in the early offense where they saw the success in the second quarter. But a good start for them, and they live to see another day, which is really what matters the most in the MCLA tournament.
They will be back to play tomorrow. For Jordan Harris, I'm Blodden Chase. We're going to have the coach of NDSU and a couple players over in the press tent here in just a little bit. But we'll be back with our next game. It's going to be Dayton and they will be taking on Montana State. Should be a great matchup. We'll be back with that. This is the 2018 National Championships from Salt Lake City.
I'm Eric Law. I went to the University of Denver and I played professional lacrosse for the Denver Outlaws. This is the UA Command 2.0. I really like the new design of the thinner scoop at the top to help with ground balls, and the same thing in the back with the flare to help with ground balls as well. The pocket, it forms just a nice, easy pocket right in the middle. I also love how light it is. We've been in the sun all day. It still doesn't get that soupy, bendy feeling. Also, what I really like the new addition of is the side rail pockets for the shooters, which doesn't go right in there, which I think is a brilliant design.
I'm Greg Gorenlian, known as Greg Beast. I played for the New York Lizards. I just retired from the MLL, and I face off for Team USA. An elite level face-off man looks for a couple different things. First thing is the pinch points of the head, the flex points, how it wraps around the ball. The second thing you look for is the scoop. Is it rigid enough to kind of help you get an extra couple ground balls? The third thing is you want durability. You don't want to have to go buy a new head every few games, so this head basically encompasses all three of those. The Face-Off Academy put Command X's heads and their prototypes through the grinder. They lasted throughout the entire grind. They flexed exactly how we wanted them to. So not only were they pliable, not only were they durable, but they were also used in a lot of different facets. So it came out with a pretty good rating. The UA Command X. Dive under, take over.